everybody, it's Noam from Makegood. This video is about printing and making this Toddler Mobility Trainer. I want to note that this device has not been tested for safety or efficacy, and it is a prototype. So please be careful, use caution, and always use under supervision of an adult. Thank you. All of the build files are available on Bamboo Maker World. You can actually print from your phone, but if you want to download the files, there'll be a combined 3MF file for A1 and X1 printers. There'll also be a separate file for H2D and H2S machines. As you can see, all of the parts are laid out to ensure for maximum printability. It's quite a few plates, but they all work really well with very minimal support structures. All of these files are set up to print already, but they mostly use standard settings, 2 walls and 15% infill. That we have found is plenty strong for this build and keeps the filament use to a reasonable amount. This project uses PETG for the main body of the chair and TPU for the tires and the harness. It's about 7 spools of PETG and 1.5 spools of TPU to give you an idea of how much filament you're going to need to order. I really want to take this opportunity and thank Bamboo Lab for supplying us with printers to help us make many chairs for us to prototype and test, and also to CookieCAD, who has provided lots of filament to help us keep the cost low as we develop this design and make it available to you. Thanks. So this is all the parts we need to build a Toddler Mobility Trainer. We have the handles, that'll be the top part of the chair, the base that holds the caster, the fenders, the seat parts, and then the middle parts that act as the connectors for the 2 halves of the chair and the caster mount. Over here we have the wheels. The wheels print in 4 sections, and all the tire sections that will all be assembled into the complete wheel, as well as the footrest parts. And over here we have all the connector pins for the body of the chair and all the pieces to connect the casters to the chair to make sure it's a complete working device. This doesn't include all of the accessories such as the parent push handle, the straps, and the seat, but everything on this table is enough to make the base of the chair. This is all of the hardware you need to build the Toddler Mobility Trainer. It's really quite minimal. So we have 2 front caster wheels, 4 bearings for the main wheels, 6 bolts. 2 of these will be axles for the main wheels, and 4 of these will hold the footrest in place. 2 washers, 2 nuts, and then the tools that we need. A pair of pliers is helpful. Sockets, so a 13mm or 1/2-inch socket, a rubber mallet, and the actual rear caster wheel. This is all you need to put together the chair, and anybody can do it. It does not take that much skill at all. So here we are in the Makegood print lab, and I'm going to show you a couple of the prints that we've made on our Bamboo X1 machines. Now, you don't need an X1 to make this project. You can print it on the Bamboo A1 or any printer that has the appropriately sized print beds for these parts. I'll show you this part here. This is part of the push handle accessory. You can see it prints with these tree supports. All of this is going to be built in to the 3MF sliced file that you can download from Maker World. And like with all 3D prints, you just pop it off the bed. It comes off really easily, and the support removal is really easy as well. So really, really straightforward, and it's a really nice part to use for the push handle. Now, we're making a lot of chairs here at once at Makegood, and if you're gonna make more than 1 chair, I recommend printing as many parts as you can at once to support your multiple builds. So we've taken all of the connector pins and things that hold the body of the chair together, and we print multiples on 1 print bed. This is gonna be a more efficient way to structure your builds, and is really easy to do in the slicer. So this is a smart way if you're gonna make more than 1 chair. If you're gonna make more than 1 chair, the built-in file on the 3MF print profile will be all you need to make 1 chair, but if you're gonna make multiple, you can set that up in Bamboo Slicer. All right, so most of the parts for the chairs are printed out of PETG or another strong filament like ABS or ASA, but there are parts of the chair that require flexible filaments. So that's gonna be the tires of the chair, the harness for the chair, and any soft accessories you might want, like the seat and like the squishy handle for the parent push handle. So right here, we have all of the pieces for the harness that print on one print bed. So this is printed out of regular 95A TPU. And what's really cool is the straps and everything print in these coils, which you can just peel off like this. It's a really neat technique to use for printing TPU. And all these snap together with the PETG buckles that are also included in the print file. So the entire harness and all the straps and seat belts print on one plate in TPU. It's just a couple 100 grams. You can print the push handles grip like this, standing up. Works really nicely. I printed a lot of them because we're making a lot of chairs here. These print with about 5% infill, so they're nice and squishy. Once again, with regular 95A TPU. Now, make sure you dry your TPU. It's gonna print a lot nicer. It's gonna give you this really nice finish, and it's just gonna be a better product at the end. All right, so the other material we like to use, specifically for the cushions and the headrest cushion, is a foaming TPU. This is a pretty new material in 3D printing. It's called TPU Aero or lightweight TPU. A few manufacturers make it, but what's really neat is it traps a lot of air while it's printing and creates these really, really soft, almost memory foam-like textures. And we found that it's a really comfortable material for cushions. Now, you could probably get away with using regular TPU in this circumstance, or if you like to sew or have foam or other materials you want to use for the seat, feel free to experiment and do so. But if you're into 3D printing and want to do a completely 3D printed chair, we think this foaming TPU is a really good material to do so. And the profiles are also on the Bamboo Maker World build file. You can print this in various densities. Obviously your infill will affect that, but if you change the flow rate and temperature of this material, it'll actually change its properties, going from 66A all the way up to 82A. So a pretty wide range in hardness. We use 78A for the seats, and we feel that's a nice, good, medium softness for the chairs. But depending on who wants the chair and their preferences, you can totally customize it for you. Although we're using multiple materials in this build, they are really easy materials to use and the standard materials you'll find from any 3D printing supplier. Thanks.